All right, Black Spider this week. Joker, what do you know about Black Spider?
Absolutely nothing.
I'm not going to lie. Same. The first and only time I ever really encountered this character was Young Justice.
I don't even remember him in that, to be honest.
Yeah, only time that and also the first Suicide Squad cartoon. But like beyond that, I don't know anything about this dude. We're going in fresh. So yeah, this week we are covering Black Spider. So if you like this episode, give us a like, share, follow, and hey, maybe subscribe. Isn't that the same as following? I don't know anymore. So Black Spider. Real world. Black Spider is the name of several fictional DC comic supervillains. The first two were both primarily enemies of Batman.
Of course, because at this point, pretty much everybody's an enemy of Batman.
Right? Who hasn't this guy crossed?
So the original Black Spider would first appear in Detective Comics issue number 463 in September of 1976 and was created by Gary Conway. Feel like he's just been like the trend we've had the last couple of weeks of random characters in the 60s and 70s.
Right? Just a lot, like I said last time, throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, and apparently spiders don't.
At least not this one.
So let's go in universe, because that's kind of what we got for the real world. So Eric Needham is a small-time crook who is addicted to heroin, coming in real strong with this concept.
What's up there with Snowflame?
Yeah. I was like, I remember when I first read that, I'm like, oh, wow, they did not hold back in the 70s. So Eric was first sentenced to prison after mugging and nearly killing an elderly woman. My God. But as a minor, he was a kid. He was out in 3 years. Over the next 2 years, Eric married his friend Linda Morell, and they had a son, Michelle.
Pretty sure that's Michael.
Oh, yeah. And they had a son, Michael. Desperate for money to buy more drugs, he robs a liquor store. He kills the owner, who turns out to be his father. After being arrested, he kicks the habit out of remorse and begins a war on the drug trade.
That was a wild ride.
Yeah, right?
Because the worst part is majority of this said he was a minor.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope at least by the time he got married and had a kid, he's at least 18. But it all started as a minor.
I assume, I'm hoping.
That's all we can do because they don't tell us.
Yeah.
Boy, was that crazy.
Yeah, that started out, dude, that started out like fast, like that started out like strong. And
that escalated very quickly.
Yeah, that did. That thing, I felt like that started out escalated.
Very much.
I feel like when you start out with like, hey, heroin, it's like, oh,
it's
wow, we're
slope.
Very.
So he would don a costume, becoming a self-styled vigilante, and begins killing those suspected of dealing drugs. This brings him into conflict with Batman, of course. Needham believes that the two should be allies, and he sees a common purpose in their war against criminals. His murderous methods, though, would continually put him at odds with the Dark Knight. Of course they would.
Yeah, there's got to be Silver Age Batman he's dealing with right now. Golden Age would have been like, murder? Cool. You get the job done, buddy. We'll go watch our episode on Golden Age Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, so Needham's paraphernalia and missions as the Black Spider were bankrolled by a man who is secretly involved in narcotics and wants to take out the competition.
Because who better?
Right?
I mean, come on. Outside of being a orphaned millionaire, how else are you going to really fund this kind of stuff?
Exactly. And given this guy's father was a liquor store, employee, and also this dude was on heroin. I doubt he's rolling in the dough.
Oh, we know he's not.
Yeah.
He spent it all. So, despite his professed desire to fight criminals, the Black Spider occasionally would ally himself with costume villains, most notably the gathering of supervillains in DC Comics number 562 and Batman number 400.
Yeah, this definitely felt like a character that they weren't 100% sure what they were doing with.
I feel like that's very clear.
Yeah. So, ostensibly, Black Spider's goal is to seek revenge against Batman, or at least this is how he attempts to justify his actions in his own mind. Needham also faces King Faraday and Nightshade in a brief flashback in Secret Origins issue number 28.
Yeah, they, as we just said, very clearly didn't know what they're doing with him because he is going all over the place.
Yeah, very much so. Like, you're a hero, you're not a hero,
Now you want to seek revenge against Batman.
like, what's happening?
Now it's sounding like you're having some drug flashbacks.
Those withdrawals.
So during his war, Needham's wife and son are killed by a drug lord who discovers the Black Spider's identity. In a rage, the Spider prepares for one final assault, and after being shot multiple times, Needham invades the drug lord's headquarters and detonates explosives strapped to his back, killing the drug dealers in the process.
Yeah, wild, man. Like,
This went full-on suicide bomber.
right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. As much as they didn't know what they were doing with this character, and this sounds like, if I were to try to collect these comics, it sounds like they'd be a pain to read.
Oh, God, yeah.
I kind of want to read them because it just sounds like a wild ride.
Yeah.
It sounds I'm like, this was the first Breaking Bad before the Tick.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen that, go watch that. I'm like, we got two things that may have inspired Breaking Bad now. So, yeah. Eric Needham later turns up in Neil Gaiman's critically acclaimed fantasy comic, The Sandman, dating supporting character Lita Hale. No explanation was given for his resurrection. Also, real random comic to bring a heroin addict, spider-themed Batman villain, anti-hero guy with no powers into
Yeah,
it.
it makes no sense whatsoever. But neither does this character.
Yeah, so we're having fun.
So he is also one of the villains sent to retrieve the Get Out of Hell free card from the Secret Six.
Which, yeah. So, like, yeah, this is just... It doesn't get much better from here on out. So, I decided just because, like, I decided to include a few of his other iterations here.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, so, yeah, the New 52s. In the New 52s, Eric first appears as a member of the Suicide Squad, though he resents being forced to work with criminals despite being one himself. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's one of those tropes.
He considers himself better than the ones they got him with. He's like, I'm an assassin. It's like, you kill people for money, man. So maybe...
Like I said, it's one of the tropes.
Yeah.
Of you think you're better than the rest of the criminals, but you're still a criminal.
Yep.
So into the first other version, Johnny LaMonica. So I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced.
Yep.
The second Black Spider first appeared in Batman number 518 in May of 1995, where professional hitman Johnny takes the name Black Spider when he is sent to kill the crime lord Black Mask. I mean, I guess it's probably not a bad idea to take up an identity when you're going after that crime lord.
I mean, that crime lord is pretty... Yeah, he definitely wants secret identity because, like, not only do you have Black Mask, you have his cult to worry about.
Exactly. That's why I was like, okay, I could at least see this one.
Yeah. Man, we should do an episode on Black Mask at some point.
Yes.
So he is thwarted by Batman and sent to prison. He sustains injuries during the incident, which leaves his face a disfigured web of scars, giving his choice of code name an ironic touch.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
So he is later killed by Detective Crispus Allen during a gang shooting. Black Spider had opened fire on Detective Renee Montoya, preparing to kill her, when Allen unloaded his magazine on the villain. Jim Corrigan sold the bullet that killed the Black Spider on the black market. I don't feel like he's a big enough hero, villain, anti-hero for that to have been worth anything.
I just like, and the bullet that killed the Black Spider will start the bidding at $10 million. Do I have anybody?
I just imagine the response to when they say his name, similar like in the movie with Star-Lord. Who?
Yeah, it's just somebody's like, do you know who the hell they're talking about right now?
Is this a joke? Did we come to the right black market?
Right? So Derek Coe. A third Black Spider appears shortly after as a member of the Suicide Squad. Which I feel like Suicide Squad is just one of those... I love the Suicide Squad, but I feel as though it is one of those things where they're just like, I want to have this random character.
I mean, pretty much. It's the villain version, I guess. Or I guess not quite a villain version, but a villain version of Justice League.
Yeah, where it's just like, hey, I just want a story with this random character from the Golden Age.
Right. Or I want to make a new one and he doesn't really fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
So he would first appear, this version would first appear in Birds of Prey issue 87 in December of 2005. So a much, much newer version.
Very. So, wow, I guess not very. We're old. So, other society members reported that he was he was presumed dead. Real name Derek Coe. He apparently bought his villain franchise from the Calculator, who assigns him to help torture Savant into revealing the identity of Oracle.
This one's not as wild, but still a little wild.
Yeah, still a little like, what?
Because that made no sense.
Yeah, I know.
So when Oracle sends in her task force, the Birds of Prey, to rescue Savant, Savant throws Coe out a window, nearly killing him. Black Canary speculates that he may be a metahuman, allowing him to survive the experience. What is with these people being thrown off of buildings and out windows? Him and Kite Man, dude.
I mean, give me Spider-themed villain. Let's see if you can swing, boy.
He did not.
He did not.
Something about not sticking to a wall.
So when Oracle said... So, oh yeah, wait, you read that.
Yeah.
He was also seen in Gotham during the Battle of the Cowl, fighting and losing to Manhunter. Coe later resurfaces as a member of the new Injustice League and one of the exiled supervillains in Salvation Run.
It's sad that even in 2005, they still couldn't figure out what they wanted to do with this character.
Right?
After 3 iterations.
You know, it's sad because I think the best utilization of the character I've seen, and he's only in like 2 to 3 episodes, is Young Justice.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So there is an unnamed Black Spider that was a member of a group of assassins known as the Council of Spiders. This Black Spider would come in conflict with Red Robin and was defeated.
Which I think we talk about in the Red Robin. Yes. I think we did talk about that in the Red Robin episode.
It's very possible. That episode's been long enough ago. I don't remember.
Because I think we talked about his encounter with the Council of Spiders, and we were like, who the heck are they? Well, we got one of the members.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so DC Rebirth. Black Spider reappears in DC Rebirth. He is one of the many villains that attempts to kill Batman for Two-Face's bounty. Needham this time has 2 cybernetic claws on his back and utilizes a machine gun. Batman defeats him and cuts those arms off with a chainsaw.
I want to see a picture of this, of Batman with a chainsaw. Because
Right?
that on its own is wild.
Oh, man. I was going to... Yeah, like, it's cool. It's not a gun.
I still want to see this, though. I'm going to have to look up this comic.
So let's get into power. So that's kind of what we got.
And clearly all over the place, and DC didn't know what to do with them.
So let's get into powers and abilities. Black Spider seems to have no outright powers beyond that of a normal human being, but was an excellent fighter and marksman. His weapon of choice was a retractable pistol mounted on the wrist of his gloves. He possesses the strength level of a normal man at the height and weight of 5'11", 179 pounds, who engages in moderate regular exercise.
So us in high school.
Yeah.
Essentially is what I just heard.
Yeah, basically.
I love that he is just strictly a normal average Joe.
Yeah, just a dude. Just a dude who's like, I'm gonna put on a costume.
Like, there's nothing spectacular about him. Like, not even like Batman, where at least, yeah, he's a normal human, but he is trained.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, take us away in other media.
So in other media, he appears in Young Justice in TV. And in film, he has a cameo in Superman and Batman Public Enemies. And the Eric Needham version appears in Batman Assault on Arkham. And that is it.
Yeah.
So if he appears in anything else, like you said he was in some other show, he is entirely uncredited. And may not even actually be him.
Honestly,
at that rate.
I think the other show I was thinking about was the Batman Assault on Arkham, because that was basically a Suicide Squad cartoon movie.
Makes sense.
That's the only other
so
one.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. That and fucking Young Justice. And Young Justice, they seem to utilize him the best without just... They're just like, no, he's an assassin with Spider-Man powers.
He doesn't even have powers.
And they gave him powers because they're like, how are we going to make this interesting? And they're like, why don't we blatantly rip off Marvel? I think they even got one of the voice actors who voiced one of the Spider-Mans.
That's awesome.
Right? Okay, so...
yeah, that's it.
You a fan?
I can't say yes. I'm not really not a fan. It's definitely one of those like the middle ground, but he does not have enough of a consistent story for me to actually want to even consider looking at this dude.
I'll say I'm definitely not a fan of the fact that they just didn't know where to go with this, but I kind of want to be a fan of his original story because of how out there
that was wild,
insane of a ride that was. So, I don't know. For anyone that's still listening, if you got something out of this, enjoyed the episode, or even liked the character before from a movie, comic, cartoon, hell, even that t-shirt that you saw one time, you're a fan too. If you want to jump on this train, why not subscribe and share with a friend? Dick Rail out. Y'all keep riding them rails.